Hi, everybody. Welcome to WCAX. This is our live desk streaming show. It happens every weekday at 9:15. And with me today is our morning reporter, Sophia Thomas, talking about her most recent story, which is on the Champlain Toxicology Lab. And Sophia, there is a little bit of discrepancies, some questions on Facebook as far as who can go to this drug testing facility in Burlington. Just kind of fill me in on who's it for and what they do.
Right. So I think the first thing that comes to mind when you think a testing center is somebody who's going through some rehab, and this is open to people in rehab to kind of track their progress, but it's also open to somebody who maybe needs drug testing for a job, or maybe for whatever reason, maybe you're proving to a family member that you are still sober. You could walk into this facility and get a test. So there's really a range of patients who might benefit from these services.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you talked to some of the folks there who are saying, why is it so important that some of this testing gets done, again, either for a job, for drug testing, or for, just recovery's sake, especially in a city like Burlington?
Definitely. Well, I think the first thing that they brought up was this new facility is kind of filling the role of AverHealth testing, which was this other Burlington facility that's about to close its doors. And so they're kind of stepping into that place and taking on those patients. But, as some of our sources told us, somebody might get testing results so that they can get a life-saving medication, or they can keep a job, or keep making progress in a rehab program. So there are so many really incredible benefits to getting that test result, whether it's positive or negative. It's the next step forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is relatively new, open May 1st, correct? Mm-hmm. Any plans to expand any other further reaching areas outside of Burlington? What's that kind of look like?
So right now the results are all going to Plattsburgh, and that's where they kind of sort through and they can get you those results. It could be within the day or maybe, within the next day. So pretty quick turnaround, but they're hoping to eventually open a lab right in Burlington, which would make those results even quicker, which obviously means you can get those life-changing results faster and, get answers.
No, absolutely. And one last part, I know you touched on this briefly in your story that aired this morning. It's an art display in the main room there. What's that about?
Yeah, so they were looking to find a way to make the facility less sterile and more welcoming. Obviously, it can be an anxiety-inducing thing to go get a drug test, as they discussed. So by having this art in the facility, it kind of welcomes people into this, this more community-based space. So all of this artwork you would see in there is all created by people who are in recovery. So it's kind of a nice way to welcome people in who are getting testing and say, we've done it, you can do it too.
Yeah, absolutely. And one last thing, I asked this to a lot of our reporters here. Obviously, we're packaging something that's into a 1 minute and a half, 2 minutes of a story for TV. Anything you left on the cutting room floor, anything that, else you can add that wasn't really seen so far?
Yeah, one of the details they told me that I didn't add was on the day I was talking to them, they said that previous Friday they had 100 tests alone. Now, they haven't had a chance to really put that into context of like, this is how many tests we're getting every single day, because they're still relatively new. But they were surprised by that number. And so they shared that with me as like, we're meeting a demand in Burlington. There is a demand for these services, and I think they felt that number was indicative of just how many people
because you can
really
get a
need
gauge
these services right now.
No, absolutely.
I found that interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you missed Sophia's story, we'll hop that up in just a second. But Sophia, thanks for joining us here.
Thanks
and
for having me.
Again, if they missed that, we'll pull that up in just a sec.
Right on.
There's a lot of power in a good drug test.
Andrea Balek sorts through dozens of urine samples a day at Champlain Toxicology Lab's Patient Service Center. As lab operations manager, she holds patients' recovery efforts in her hands.
We take incredible care with those samples once they come in because we know the impact that a bad drug test can have on somebody.
The center opened May 1st in a shared building with the Turning Point Center of Chittenden County. It came at a critical time as AverHealth testing in Burlington closes its doors.
The opioid epidemic is not slowing down. We really wanted to meet the needs of our community.
The center collects samples from walk-ins and people in recovery programs, sending them off to their lab in Plattsburgh for testing. They aim for same-day or 24-hour turnaround, recognizing the life-changing power of test results.
We had somebody, I submit a sample, when am I going to get those results? And it was dependent on, he didn't get his meds if that drug test didn't come back the way he was hoping it would. And thankfully it did.
Testing centers play an essential role in cities like Burlington, where testing needs are climbing and medical providers are often too swamped to test everyone.
Any small part that we can do to offload the work that the providers have to do and take that on instead, we're happy to do that.
Part of that work is creating an environment where patients feel comfortable and supported. That inspired an art display in the main room, featuring work from artists in recovery.
And it's a way to kind of deliver the message for the artist to say, hey, I've been through this and it gets better. For people who are walking in the door to know that they're not alone.
While Balek has fielded countless samples, she says patients' stories stick with her and results feel personal.
It was fun seeing them, being on their 30 days clean and their 60 days clean and 6 months, and some of them we would kind of follow through drug court. And so you did celebrate their victories.
And you're taking a look at the Cary Bay sunrise. This was submitted by Pamela Conway. Again, really just to recap that last story here. If you want to read more information about that, you can go to our website at WCAX.com. But for right now, a beautiful look and start to our morning here. I know we had quite a bit of fog this morning, Jess, and it's kind of nice to at least see the sun if you got to see it.
That was the thing, it was a beautiful start to the day. If you saw the start to the day,
Yeah.
some of us you could barely
Yeah.
see, 10 feet in front of you this morning. But that was North Hero this morning, one of the spots that wasn't dealing with the fog right on the lake there, and it was beautiful, setting the stage for a beautiful day too.
I couldn't see anything walking out the door today. It was, textbook spooky fog. Couldn't see, you can cut through it at that point. So, yeah.
It was pretty dense on some of our cameras this morning. I didn't see as much on my way in this morning, but there was a lot of dew. It very much I kind of keep using the windshield wipers, kept fogging up on the way in. So definitely damp, foggy, but we're warming up quick out there. And I mean, after the last couple days, I think we're all ready for some sunshine.
Between last week, the last few days, just nice and calm. Let's just slow moving a little bit.
A sunny day where we're not tracking storms and it's not feeling like 100 degrees outside.
Yeah,
we'll take it. It's good.
Yeah,
today's really the day to get outside and enjoy this week. So
absolutely.
You
have a look at the fog, by the way, from this morning?
Yes, actually, so here's the sunrise from this morning, but...
Yeah, we'll go back to that for a second as we get situated. I believe, like I said again, a lot of people waking up to some fog, and but might have missed out on that.
Here we go. So this is actually, looking down at the fog from the summit of Mount Mansfield, where our camera is, or from the top of Mount Mansfield, and you can see it really filling into the valley. So actually, the lower elevations got more fog today, and this is that just kind of burning off as the morning went on there. And so at this point in the day, really don't have those visibility issues that we did earlier. At this point, we're reporting good visibility across the board. I mean, look at Newport now. It's a beautiful day on Memphremagog. This morning, you could not see the lake at all in this shot. You could see kind of the buildings, and then it was just clouds. And, Burlington, though, we didn't really have the fog this morning, but it's a beautiful day out there, and it's just going to stay really nice through the day. I mean, we've already warmed up into the lower 70s, so most of us started out in the 50s this morning. It's 71 degrees right now in Burlington. Dew point is 59, so it's come up a little bit from this morning, but it's still less humid than it's been recently. Winds out of the southwest now, 10 miles per hour. So overall, really nice day. We have high pressure in place, and that's what's giving us this really nice, clear air this morning. Also, the calm, light winds that helped contribute to the fog this morning. Now, of course, the system that kept us cool and showery yesterday, that's exiting to the east. There is low pressure in the Midwest, and see this edge of the clouds here. Eventually, we'll have to watch some clouds working later. Eventually, our next low pressure system will start working in. Chance for a couple showers overnight tonight, but it's a while before we get to there. For now, it's nice and quiet out there. We have the sunshine in place. So really today, it's not just brighter, it's notably warmer than yesterday as well.
Yeah.
The next active time frame that we're tracking is Wednesday night. So that is really not so much during the day, but evening into the overnight. There's a chance for, again, some storms, but also some widespread moderate to briefly heavy rain. And after that, though, it gets notably less humid. So something to look forward to after that. For now, we're warming up quickly. We're seeing a lot of mid-60s on the map already, and already to 71 in Burlington. So we're going to be warming up into the 80s this afternoon compared to yesterday when it was kind of cool outside. Again, those dew points, they're just teetering right on the edge of humid right now, 50s to lower 60s, and that's about where we stay through the afternoon today. We do start to see that humidity spike a little bit into Wednesday. We do have a warm front that comes through first, and then the cold front, and that's what's going to give us that big drop in the dew points through the day on Thursday. A nice comfortable day. This is Friday, where we're looking at those dew points in that dry to comfortable range, and we stay that way into the weekend. It does creep up a little bit, but overall, not too bad today. And then once we get through Wednesday, we will have a nice, refreshing couple of days. For today, though, so much sunshine out there this morning. We have a really nice day. Mostly sunny even into the afternoon. We likely start to see some higher, thin clouds. Might start to see some filtered sunshine late in the day. Clouds definitely increase this evening, though. And then first, we start to see the chance for some showers developing across northern New York earlier on in the overnight, and then spreading into Vermont during the overnight hours. But these are not heavy, they're not intense, they're just kind of some light hit or miss showers in the area. Wednesday itself, not looking too bad. We might see maybe a spot shower here or there, but it's really, again, we're looking at 9:30 Wednesday now, and this is kind of that time frame where we're looking at later Wednesday evening. This is that cold front that's going to be coming through, and you see these reds, these oranges down in Rutland, Bennington County. That is where we're tracking the potential for some stronger storms to come through with that. So if we see any storms that have particularly some stronger wind gusts, it would likely be in southern Vermont, the southern half of the state. The rest of us still going to get in on some rainfall, though, during the overnight into Thursday morning. And again, we've had a lot of rain recently in some spots, so we'll have to keep an eye on this. There's certainly going to be some moderate rainfall rates. There could be some heavy, at times, rainfall rates. We're not looking at any widespread flooding or flash flood potential, but there could potentially be some localized issues depending on how this shakes out. But overall, just looking like a good soaking rain into Thursday morning. Still dealing with that, especially east early in the day, but then it will shift off to the east. And, well, we could still see a couple spot showers at times during the first half of the day. Really, once that main batch moves out, we'll see a notable change in the air. Humidity will be dropping. It'll be a cooler day. We'll start to see more sunshine developing later on Thursday as well. So we're looking at the severe weather potential again for Wednesday. So this is like Wednesday night, Wednesday evening. That's why this southern area that I just mentioned is kind of highlighted here. That's the best risk to see anything stronger. And again, it's looking right now like the primary issue, if we did have any with that, would be some stronger wind gusts. And of course, we're also tracking those rainfall totals. So we're looking at now that first batch that comes through overnight, and it's really not much of anything. We're not concerned about any rainfall totals there. Now we play forward, through Thursday morning, that second batch Wednesday night into Thursday.
Yeah, a little heavier.
It is. That has a little bit more substance to it. That's where we're looking at kind of those more widespread totals, and a half inch or more, definitely up to an inch, but there certainly could be those pockets that exceed an inch depending on where the heavier bands play out. So that's why we're keeping an eye on that. That's our next, batch of active weather that's coming through. Again, not looking at anything too concerning, but definitely bears watching.
Yeah, keep an eye on.
Absolutely. Sure. But this afternoon, just gorgeous out there. We're mostly sunny. We're looking at, Champlain Valley, a lot of mid-80s, maybe some mid-80s in the upper valley as well. Most other spots topping out upper 70s, lower 80s. We'll start to see increasing clouds, especially this evening, but really nice out there through the vast majority of the day. But as we go through the overnight and we see more clouds and a couple of those showers passing through, that's also going to keep things muggier and warmer overnight, where we're starting out tomorrow morning with mid to upper 60s. Still another day tomorrow with some mid 70s to lower 80s, maybe a couple mid 80s in there. Partly cloudy at times, and really that rain and thunderstorm threat is less daytime Wednesday and more Wednesday evening, even later evening into the overnight hours and into early Thursday morning. So that's what we're tracking. Once that moves out though, we're looking at, mid 70s for Thursday, some sunshine by late in the day. Friday looks fantastic. We're partly cloudy, mid to upper 70s there.
Yeah.
Then the weekend rolls through and we're tracking a couple more chances for some rain, particularly Saturday night into Sunday. But overall, there's definitely a lot of time to enjoy.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of a patchwork, a bit of a week here where you have time to, definitely have your days to get out and enjoy kind of the summer, but then, it's not a complete wash, I'm trying to say. So,
we have like a couple bursts of rain that we're tracking here and there, but there's time to dry out in between them and really to get out and enjoy. Because I feel like last week there wasn't really much time to be able to be outside and take advantage of summer. This week, today, even late Thursday, Friday, beautiful.
Absolutely. I'm definitely gonna try to get outside and cool off a little bit too. So it'd be a fun week. So, Jess, thanks for I don't know. Thanks for the forecast. But I think that does it for us here on WCA Extra. Of course, you can see Jess and I on WCAX at noon, our evening shows as well, and see all of our stories on WCAX.com. With that in mind, we'll let you get out with your morning, and again, we'll see you at noon. So.